Hello students, welcome back in English grammar class. This is your teacher Miss Hafsa. Our today's topic is types of clauses. Let's discuss it. First, as you know, we have already discussed clause along with the phrase, but let's define it again. Clause is a group of related words that contains at least one subject and one verb and is used as a sentence or part of a sentence. As we have discussed, phrase is a group of words, but it does not contain any subject and verb in it. So clause is also a group of words, but it would always contain one subject and at least one subject and one verb in it, and is used as a sentence. So it may be used as a whole sentence or part of a sentence, or at times it is used as a part of a sentence, not a complete sentence. When a clause has complete meaning on its own, it can be used as a sentence when its meaning is complete, like it doesn't need any other words to complete its meaning. So then it would be called a sentence. So this is the main difference between a clause and a sentence, that a clause, when it is giving us a complete meaning, and it doesn't need any other words to complete its meaning, so then we can call it a sentence as well. But when it has incomplete meaning, it is used as part of a sentence. But whenever the clause gives us an incomplete meaning, then it would be considered as a part of a sentence, and we would add some other words with it. It would need some other words to complete its meaning. As you can see, he is a news reporter. Here it is a clause, but it is a complete sentence. He is a news reporter. As you can see, it is a group of words. It consists of a subject, which is he. It has also a verb in it, which is. So here it is a complete sentence, like he is a news reporter. The meaning is clear, that we are talking about someone, that he is a news reporter. So its meaning is clear. So here this is a clause as well as a sentence. It is used as a complete sentence. She loves music. Here again you can see she is the subject, loves is the verb here. So here its meaning is again clear. So it is a whole sentence. Look at another example. Where he stays, as a part of a sentence. Here it is used as a part of a sentence, because like when we tell someone where he stays, so its meaning is not clear. Which place are we talking about? Where he stays, its meaning is not clear. So here it is used as a part of a sentence, and it is a clause. Who lives next to my house? Again it is used as a part of a sentence, because its meaning is not clear. Who lives next to my house? So we didn't know that we are talking about whom. Who lives next to my house? Its meaning is not clear. So here again it is a clause, but it can be used as a part of a sentence. It is not a complete sentence. Why? Because it does not give us a complete meaning. We have two types of clauses: independent clause or main clause, dependent clause, also called subordinate clause. And let's discuss it one by one, then it would be more clear to you. Independent clause is also called main clause or principal clause. It can be also called main clause, or it can be also called a principal clause, because like at times the other different types of clauses depends on it. That's why it is called as a main clause or principal clause. An independent clause has a subject and a verb. It has the same qualities as a simple clause, like it consists of a subject and a verb, and can stand alone as a sentence. It can stand alone as a sentence. It means that it gives us a complete meaning. It does not require other words to complete its meaning. Its meaning is clear. That's why we called it a complete sentence. Like as you can see in the examples, they work in marketing department. They work in marketing department. So here the meaning is clear. We didn't need any other words to complete its meaning. The company did not perform well last year. Here again, the company did not perform well last year. The meaning is clear. Some information is given to us. but its meaning is clear. So here it is the main clause or independent clause because it does not need other words to complete its meaning. What shall we do? Here again it is a complete clause. It is a complete sentence which is an interrogative sentence, but its meaning is clear to us. So these are such type of clauses are called independent clauses. As its name shows, independent means something which does not depend on other. So here independent clauses are also not depending on other words to complete its meaning. Then we have dependent clause. Dependent clause is also called subclause or subordinate clause. A dependent clause has a subject and a predicate, as we have already said that it will also consist of a subject and a verb, but it cannot stand alone as a sentence. It does not give us a complete sense, and we cannot call it a complete sentence. It is dependent on being attached to an independent clause to form a sentence. It would always depend on the main clause or the independent clause to complete its meaning. Like here is an example you can see, because I woke up late this morning. So what? Like its meaning is not clear. If we tell someone that because I woke up late this morning, so they would ask that what happened, because your meaning would not be clear to them. So that's why this type of dependent clause always needed some other words or the main clause to complete its meaning. When we arrived in class, so what? If you told someone that when we arrived in class, so they would ask that what occurred then. So its meaning is not clear. It would need some other words or some independent clause to complete its meaning. So such type of clauses are called dependent clause. As its name shows, it would always depend on someone else. It would always depend on the main or the independent clause to complete its meaning. Here we have some other examples. She drove wherever she wanted. So here you can see this sentence consisted of two parts. She drove. Here its meaning is clear. She drove wherever she wanted. Wherever she wanted. So it is the dependent clause. Wherever she wanted is the dependent clause, which is depending on the main clause she drove. So here this sentence consisting of it is one sentence, but it consists of two parts, the independent clause and the dependent clause. Then again, when he won the money, when he won the money, here it is a dependent clause. Why? Because like when we tell someone that when he won the money, so what then? He decided to buy a car. It is the independent clause. He drove fast so that he could get to work on time. Here again you can see he drove fast. It is the main clause. So that he could get to work on time, it is the subordinate or the dependent clause, which is depending on the main clause. Although she thought she was a good driver, she got a lot of tickets for speeding. Here the first one is a subordinate or dependent clause. Although she thought she was a good driver, so what? She got a lot of tickets for speeding. It is the main clause on which the dependent clause is depending. Here it can also be called a subordinate clause as well. Although she thought she was a good driver, because you know in different types of conjunctions we have discussed subordinating conjunctions. Although is the subordinating conjunction here. He knows that his business will be successful. Here he knows is the dependent clause, that his business will be successful is the dependent clause, while he knows is the independent clause. So it is depending on that part of the sentence. Hope this would be clear to you, the difference between main clause and subordinate clause. Then we have four types of dependent clause: noun clause, adjective clause, adverb clause, relative clause. We would discuss them in our next lectures one by one in further detail. Hope this lecture would be clear to you and you would be able to differentiate between a dependent clause and an independent clause. See you then. Have a nice day. Bye bye.